Okay, guys, this is what you've been waiting for. We're going to have the children come up and share with us.
Morning. Elizabeth Ann Ray, Bettty, our beloved mother, Nana, aunt, and friend. She was a one-of-a-kind lady. She would comfort you, have you laughing at the silliest of things, or tell you a story. All done with so much love and in true Nana style. She was born June 6, 1937, in Burnaby, British Columbia, to Catherine and Laurie Ray. Laurie had a store in Jubilee where he sold and repaired shoes. And in 1944, the Rays moved to Nelson Island in Jarvis Inlet. Bettty, along with her brothers Alec and Doug Ray, did their schooling through correspondence. Catherine and Laurie ran Westman, a fishing lodge. In June of 1945, Bettty lost her only sister, Shirley, at the age of 21. In 1955, Bettty went to live with her oldest brother, Gord, and his wife, Adele, to help babysit their kids, Colleen, Marilyn, and Bob. She loved that. But in October of that year, she left home and joined the Royal Canadian Air Force as a meteorologist. Shortly after being stationed in Quebec, she met a United States Airman, Bill Worley, and they were married. She left the RCAF and went to work for Sun Life Insurance when Stephanie was born, and 15 months later, along came Butch. In 1960, they were transferred to Michigan, then Texas, and eventually California. And in 62, Bettty had Brenda. The following year, Bill left the Air Force and took a job with RCA in White Sands, New Mexico, and they were off again. In 65, Bettty and the kids came back to British Columbia while Bill went to Alaska. Doug, her brother, prepared Betty's car for the long trip to Alaska, and when it was ready, Bill flew down to drive them all up to Alaska. Bettty often spoke of her time in Alaska, the beauty of the country. Of all the places she had traveled and lived, she most wanted to go back to Alaska. In 1966, they were back in Canada again and bought a house in Port Coquitlam. However, Bill took a job at Boeing in Everett, Washington, so in 69, they moved back to Mount Vernon and then later bought a house in Seattle. But in 1971, a shock to the whole family, along I came. Bettty moved back to Canada permanently in 73, bringing the kids with her. It was a huge adjustment being a single parent, but she had her nieces, Colleen and Marilyn, to keep her company, and she loved spending time with her family. And oh, the stories she told. In 1981, Bettty lost her mother, and she became a grandmother for the first time. Two very defining moments in her life. In 1982, Bettty moved to Quesnel, where she worked as a nurse's aide in extended care. She also worked with the SBA and met with one of her lifelong friends, Pat Chow. Bettty and Pat built a shelter that is now in place at Quesnel. Animals were, and always, an important part in her life. She never met one that she didn't like. In 1985, she moved to Lloydminster, Alberta, where she finally put down some roots. Bettty joined the Presbyterian Church there, where she attended and also worked. She joined the -1 dance club. She bowled in a weekly league, and she went to Lakeland College. She lauded bowled at the provincial league, or at the provincial level, sorry. And in 1994, she met Dr. Henglehaupt and got married, and it changed her life. They spent their time traveling for dances, visiting friends and family as often as they could, and went on many camping trips with her grandkids. Bettty loved to knit. I think just about everybody had to, probably more than one. They loved to garden and can everything they could, but most of all, they loved to be together. I'm going to miss both of them. Their giggles, their hugs, their stories. I learned a lot from my mom. She taught me so much about life. Some things she never meant to teach me, but we learned them together. She was my best friend, my constant, my ride or die. She was my maid of honor. We traveled together, lived together, laughed together, and even sometimes we fought together. She was there when my kids were born. She was by my side when my grandson got sick. She's been there for every high and every low. I don't know this world without her, but I do know she taught me to be strong. She taught me these few things that I'm going to leave with you. You're never too old to go back to school or to pick up a new hobby. It's never too late to pick up the phone or the pen. It's okay to cry and to laugh, sometimes at the same time. It's okay to make mistakes and be wrong, but own it and learn from it. And always to tell those you love how you feel while you still have the chance. Tomorrow may seem a long way off, but it's not.
For those who may not know me, I'm Betty's middle child, Brenda. I've been trying for days to think of what I wanted to tell people about my mother. How do you describe someone who is everything to you? Betty was a beautiful, warm, loving, fun woman. She loved her family. She loved her friends, and she loved her God. Betty wasn't afraid to have fun or to be silly. She loved to dance and spend time with her friends. She gave her time to the church, to charity, and to other organizations. Betty was a daughter, sister, wife, aunt, grandma, great-grandma, friend, and poet. But most important to me, she was my mother. When I was a child, my mom was my hero. She fed me, bathed me, dressed me, held me, dried my tears, and bandaged my wounds. When I was a teenager, my mom was my jailer, my counselor, and sometimes my co-conspirator. When I was an adult, my mom became a full-fledged human. I discovered that she was just like me, trying to figure things out and where she belonged in this world. Now that I am a wife, mother, and grandma, my mom became my hero again. Leading the way and helping me navigate through the twists and turns of life. My mom was not perfect. She had her flaws, her blind spots, and her quirks. I didn't always agree with her, and she certainly didn't always agree with me, but I always knew that she loved me. I will miss my mom's smiles. I will miss her laughter. I will miss holding her hand and kissing her forehead. I will miss telling her, I love you, Mommy, and hearing her respond, I love you more. And arguing, no, I love you more. And Mommy saying, I loved you longer. Being the oldest, I usually talk with Mom daily. And it was funny because it never lasted. It never stayed that way. We'd have words, and it'd be done. And Mom taught me that. If you have something to say, say it. Try and be kind and keep your mouth closed on some of the bad words. But get it out and let the people know that you love them. Some of my earliest memories are of family at Westmere, playing with the cousins, envying the cousins because they're older and got to do what we couldn't do, and Mom said, your turn will come, just wait, and then you'll be sorry because you'll be too old. I learned from Mom that it didn't matter if people knew what you were doing for them, that you knew, and how precious that gift was. I remember when I started having my kids, because they were the first grandkids, and Mom really enjoyed them. Loved making fun of her by half the baby, but really enjoyed having them. And then Brenda's came, and Butch's came, and Kathy's came, and she still enjoyed being a nana. And I remember how important it was to her the day before she passed. She was actually with us, and she kept saying, I want you to know, I love you all. I love you. I love you. And I found this quote. It says, a mom's hug lasts longer. A mom's hug lasts long after she lets go. And I want, especially the family, to know she loves you, and she treasured every minute with us and with you.
What I have to say will be a little different than you've heard, because I was her only son and her favorite child. I want to start off by reading a poem that's in the pamphlet that Mom wrote when she was 19 years old, called Recovery. I was alone in the darkness of fear, the fear of the foolish, the impure, the unwise, drowning in a mire of sin. What way did I know but down? Surely I reached the depth of hell, yet I sank lower. Then you came, a ray of light that stirs the gleam of a star, a strong hand to guide me on the path upward. We are together in the sunlight of love. The love that saved, the redeemed is mine. Living in the grace of your love, where can I go but up? Sure, that taking care of you guys. But this is definition of my mom. She was not perfect. She was a strong Christian. She loved everyone in this room and just about everyone she met. She taught me how to love people even when you don't like them. She taught me that God will always provide, no matter the situation or the circumstance. God's love and God's provision is all you need. She taught me how to be a grown-up. And as a single mom, she taught me how to be a man. She She was everything. She was courageous, yet scared. She was outgoing, but shy. She was never one to back down from a challenge or a dare. And she was willing to try any new adventure that came her way. But most of all, she was a family person that loved her kids, her nieces and nephews, her grandkids, her great-grandkids, and the entire extended family. She was proud to be a Ray and to be a part of the group that's sitting here. I personally want to thank you all for coming to enjoy this time with us, to share memories with Mom, and just to remember her as a great, loving person that she was.